I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Kromatika joins us. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Kromatika. I'm a Cyber Bunny Magical Girl VTuber. Hello.
So how long have you been doing this?
I have been, streaming overall. I've been streaming since like July 22, but oh no, not 22, July 2021.
Mm.
But VTubing, I started in March of 2022. So
Okay.
about a little over 3 years I've been VTubing.
So why did you make the switch over to it?
For me, I used to be a webcam streamer before, and I was also a cosplayer, so I would stream in cosplay.
Sure.
But it got so, like, exhausting
Not bad.
to have to get into cosplay, or even when I wasn't in cosplay, just look presentable. And around the time I started VTubing as well, I graduated from university, and I was also getting into VTubers, so this kind of let me start being able to like kind of draw again.
Yeah.
So I started getting back into that, and then getting into VTubers happened at the same time. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna design a VTuber because I think it'd be fun. And then I was just like, this is really cute. I'll try streaming with this. And then I had like a PNG tuber that looked like me at first.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? If I locked in and designed like a VTuber that is completely different, I think I could do it. Like, I think I could VTube. So then I did that, and then I switched to being Chroma in 2022 of March.
So yeah, I can imagine doing it with a cosplay would be just an enormous behind the scenes thing just to go on, where you have to dress up, make sure everything looks good before you even turn the camera on. And then if you happen to look in there and see that something is a little off, then you're going to worry about it the rest of the time.
Yeah, the thing is, like, when I cosplayed, it'd be a little bit more casual. A lot of my big cosplays I obviously would not put on for streams. But like, I still cosplay as a hobby now. Like when I do go to cons. But my get ready time is like 2 hours because I need to make sure the wig is correct, my makeup is looking fine, everything that's on my cosplay is okay. And I've been doing this for like 10 years, like cosplay wise. But even then, like, even though I've been doing it for over a decade now, it still just takes so long. So
imagine how long it would take if you hadn't been doing it that long.
Oh goodness, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Start the day before.
Yeah, I help a lot of friends get into cosplay as well. Like, a lot of my friends started getting into cosplay recently. So when I would go to cons with them, I would have to get ready myself and then get my friends ready. Like, I'd cut their wigs the day of. One of my friends, we coerced him into cosplaying Love is War with us. And he was like, I don't have a wig for this. And I was like, it's okay. I have a wig. I will bring it and I will style it the morning of. And we spent like an hour, and I was just like making sure everything fit on his head correctly. And I had already taken like an hour and a half to get ready. Like, it's so much, but it's fun.
Well, once you see the end result, though, I mean, you see your hard work, and you're like, yeah, this is what I really wanted to do. That's got to be fulfilling.
It's so fulfilling. Like, that just goes for like everything I do, like art wise, cosplay wise. Everything I do is like so fulfilling when I like look back and I'm like, oh my god, I did it finally. And then with cosplay too, it's just really nice since like I've started cosplaying like more what's it called, like childhood anime of mine, like some of my favorite childhood anime. And a lot of people that also watch that in their childhoods, they'll be like, oh my god, you're giving me nostalgia. Like, and I'm just like, this feels so nice. Like, I'm so happy that people like it.
You connect with somebody that you normally wouldn't have connected with as doing it that way.
Yeah.
So you were doing art before you did cosplay?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I've been on the internet for so long.
Uh, don't even
I've been
don't
on the
even start. I
internet.
was there when the internet was born. Okay.
Yeah, I started on Flipnote Hatena,
Oh my.
which is like this program that you could do animations on your DSI, or yeah,
Wow.
on your DSI. And I was like maybe 11,
Oh
and
boy.
then I did that for like a couple years, and then I started, uh, and then I got onto DeviantArt, and then I was on DeviantArt for a few years, and then I
Mm.
went to Tumblr, and then I was on like doing like Tumblr OC
Yeah.
Ask accounts,
Yeah.
but specifically in the Splatoon fandom,
Mm.
and then and then I there was a period in time where I stopped drawing,
Yeah.
like recreationally, because I went to university.
Right.
The moment I like got into college, I kind of stopped. Not because I was busy. I was busy, but that didn't stop me from like doing the things I enjoyed. What
Right.
stopped me was um like I went to school for a graphic design degree.
Ah.
So my thing with like art, like school sometimes, like I've tweeted about this, but it's like it killed my like want to, it killed my want to create things for myself.
Yeah, I
So
can
I
see that.
stopped drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear people who go specifically, not all people, mind you, but some
Hmm.
people who go to school for some sort of art immediately kind of get their individuality taken away from them anyway. And they have to
Yeah.
start from scratch and relearn everything, and it becomes less of a fun thing to do and more of a chore.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Because the thing is, especially with graphic design, I used to be really into maximalist, like bright colors,
Mm,
taking up as much space as I can. That used to be my kind of graphic design.
yeah.
But what they teach you in school is to adhere to like a corporate the corporate like corporate norm
Hmm.
basically, and it becomes more minimalistic. It becomes there's like if you were to compare, I like using the VTuber sphere uh as a comparison to the
Okay.
design I like versus the corporate sphere that I work in
Yeah.
outside of VTubing.
Yeah.
If you see like VTuber logos, they're so creative. They have so many elements that allude to the VTuber,
Right.
right? And then like overlays as well.
Right.
They
Yeah.
match the VTuber. Sometimes they're super maximals. They have all these elements.
Right.
But then if you look at like certain brands or like general, a lot of like outside of like VTubing, like in the corporate atmosphere for design, a lot of them are looking for like UX, UI, and web design.
Yes.
Some of it is very generic and very
Sanitized.
base. It's more about the functionality
Right.
and the
Efficiency
easy,
and all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
over like all this bright color, something that really screams someone. Like there's two ways to go about brand identity, but more for corporate, it's always
Yeah.
I could in my field it's like the safe option,
Right.
the common option.
Right. Right. It's never. It almost never has an edge to it. That
Yeah.
yeah. If it doesn't have any type of risk involved. It's we've done the market studies and 97% of the people liked this picture of a cat. Please use this picture of a
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah. Like I work in consumer goods, so I'm a product designer. I
Yeah.
went to school for graphic design, but now I'm a product designer. It's kind of funny. But when I'm like creating different colors for our products, I'm always told, "Hey, so remember the market for this. You can't use these colors." And I'm like, "You're telling me I can't make this item pink? Like, I can't make it pink." And then I'll come home and I'll draw my cute anime girls, or like I'll be designing my VTuber kids, and I'll be like, I can use fun colors on you. I'm so happy.
But our colors are gray and black.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
How do you put
it's a
that?
fine if something is. Oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no. How do you use that for soup? I mean, just because the
I,
color is a certain way doesn't mean. And I lived the advertising thing for a lot of years in radio. It wasn't visual, but it was still a lot of generic type of things that were brought out, and it was very rare when you heard something presented in a way that was original and thought provoking and actually had a pull to it instead of just come to the store and buy our grapes. Our grapes are good. Please buy them. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you, I hate to use the term, but a bunch of trained primates could put that together and not have to worry about it.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, like it's like that's why I like the VTuber design sphere so much. Like I look at like a lot of VTuber designers all the time to like see how did they go about making this person's logo? Like what did they think of? And I love looking at the elements because it's so creative. There's never a VTuber logo that I see look like someone else's, like word for word, or like element from element.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably some that are similar. I mean,
similar, of course.
Yeah, but there's always something they put a little extra flair on it to make it their own.
Exactly, and that's why I love it so much. But like with corporate design, it's like so different. That's also why I really enjoy the VTuber sphere, and I think why I can finally draw again.
Well, I can see that being so. I can hear it in your voice when you talk about how much you enjoy being creative, and also how much you are frustrated by the stifling atmosphere of the corporate world.
Yes, it's awful. I really, really enjoy unique and bright things. That is the thing that'll always catch my eye.
Yeah.
Of course, bright doesn't mean like just in color.
Right.
But it's just like something that feels refreshing. Yeah. And with the VTuber community as a whole, as I like get to meet more and more people, I just like it's like a breath of fresh air with every new person I meet. No one is really the same as another person that I've met, and it's like what kind of keeps me here, because I'm just like, there are all these unique people. Like this is what I needed in college. Like this is what I needed to motivate me when I was in college. Well, I mean, a few years ago.
Yeah, well, you kind of stole my line there, because that's why I'm doing it. Because everybody I talk to is different, and everybody's got their own stories, their own reasons for doing this, and their own talents. And it's always something new every time. There's no two people are going to be the same. Even twins that I talk to aren't the same.
Really? Yeah. So, oh my gosh.
So, I mean, that's pretty hilarious. But the lack of ability to stretch your wings when you're in a facility like that, being older now, I kind of understand it. Trying to play the safe card all the time, and I do definitely know about playing to your audience. That's what radio used to do all the time. But still, sooner or later, you got to take a chance somewhere, and maybe it's going to be better if you change the A from a script to a capital A or something. It doesn't take a lot to make it a lot different. And I'm no artist, so I'm just speaking from what I'm looking. So when you are now in this situation, I mean, obviously you get a chance to flourish again in your art with this. Was it easy for you to pick right back up again after you started with art?
Actually, yeah, it was a little bit more easier for me because I ended my, I was still training, like, working my hands, and drawing stuff for I was in an illustration class, like, my last semester, and I did that as my last hurrah. I had all of my illustration classes, because my college, like, curriculum, it wasn't just on one specific type of design. It was, like, every design on top of, like, illustration and studio arts.
Right.
So there were still chances for me to, like, kind of keep my hands warm
Yeah.
in... But I will say, despite being able to keep my hands warm, some of my professors had a lot of bias, but that's a whole another story that I've like. That was so much, but I was still drawing, and with my illustration classes, I had a little bit more creative freedom than my design. Because I always had to design to a prompt when I was in my design classes. But with my illustration, we would just be given, hey, portrait, go crazy.
Right.
Or you just have to include these elements, but the rest is up to you.
Oh, well, that makes more sense.
Or evoke this feeling.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. To me, I've always wondered when a person is teaching art, and I unfortunately had this happen to me at a very young age. I can tell folks I'm not talented at all at art. But if you complete an art project and you do it yourself and how you interpret it, how can you fairly grade that one way or the other?
So there's this whole thing where it starts to get into design principle. A lot of illustration can fall under design principle, like color, value. So instead of looking at the meaning, you look at the technique that was spent into it. Because you could have this very thought-provoking piece, but someone's anatomy might be a little bit off, you know?
Right.
So normally the critiques, especially like for stuff like my portraits or so when I used to also teach art too to younger kids.
Right.
So a lot of the critiques would be like, these two colors, they start to meld together. So this area of the illustration looks very unclear and blurry. That doesn't mean the rest of it does, but this area could be elevated more if you had a little bit more contrast. Or if you maybe, these colors don't complement each other, but it stands out. So maybe if you made the rest of this part stand out instead of just having this one thing where it draws like your focal point. Or you can question like, oh, the focal point of this image is unclear. Which one is your thing? So normally what we would do is we would explain the piece and then we'd get the feedback, because once after we explain it, people will understand it more and then they'll be able to like critique properly.
That makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Because if you to me, especially for the young folks, we're still learning. I mean, still trying to figure out what they're doing here. You hand in, you work on something, and you're pretty proud of it, and you hand it in, and the teacher gives you an F.
Yeah.
And which is what happened to me. It absolutely happened to me.
No, that's a bad teacher.
Yeah, well, I didn't want much like her, but yeah, I'm like, why? I did the assignment. You didn't like it, so you gave me an F.
Yeah.
That's not. Yeah. It's not how it's supposed to work, is it?
Yeah, I think that's the issue with, especially like, I compare high school art to like college level art. College level art, they're a bit more. They'll give you a little bit more freedom, but you still have a boundary of like what you need to specifically have.
Right.
And there is still some bias in some professors, but it's not as much as I've experienced when I was in high school taking art.
Yeah.
And because when I was in high school taking art, my professor was like, the anime style is never going to work for you. And now I'm here and I make a little bit of pocket money drawing anime girls on the internet.
Yep.
Like,
and
then there's so many freelance VTuber artists and just overall illustrators who make a living off this. And so it's like, it's not true.
No, it isn't true. I mean, it's true to their little bitty world. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
And if it's something, when you talked about what you were showing to the younger kids, I understand that, because you're instead of slapping them down, you're building them up. It's a big difference. So, well, maybe you want to try this. Maybe this will help your vision for what you're wanting to do. That type of thing. Otherwise, you're just making them. You're turning what should be a blossoming project into math.
Yeah, it's so sad when I when I was like teaching like kids, and some of them were like, they would talk to me about like their art. Like teachers, and I'd be like, oh, they didn't really like this. And I was like, oh, did they say why? And they're just like, they just don't like this type of style. And I was like, don't listen to them. Just keep drawing it. The thing is like, it's like, or what I've told a student before is like, draw what they want, but when you go home, draw what you want to kind of keep you going.
Right.
Because their educators in the field are so set on like a personal bias of what kind of art they like when it's such a broad field that you shouldn't do that. That's why I really loved one of my professors, because she knew my specific style, and it wasn't even just anime. I could draw a portrait and realism if I wanted to. I just don't want to. But she knew like the aesthetic that I liked, and I would put it in my creative work, and she loved it because she enjoyed the composition, she enjoyed the colors, how good it, like, she's like submitted my art for me to a show. I didn't get in, but it's the fact that she liked it so much that she submitted it for me.
That's pretty cool. That's taking the extra step and really investing in the student, which I appreciate, especially when it comes to something as personal as someone putting their vision on a canvas or a however you're doing on the computer or on the back of a matchbook cover. I don't care what you're doing, but it really does, to me. You have the opportunity to either build somebody up or just ruin them. As far as that goes.
Definitely.
And here it's funny you mentioned do what they want in class, then go home and do what you want. That's exactly what you're doing now with work and going home.
Yeah. I go to work and then I come home and I'm an anime girl on the internet.
But it's true though. I mean, commercialized art, you are doing something for somebody else's vision, not yours.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm sure that folks who are doing commissions have run into that too. I mean, I would like a portrait of myself in a cowboy hat, riding an armadillo or something. And then they say, well, that cowboy hat isn't big enough. Do it again.
Yeah. At least with some commission though, it does feel a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because it's in your style, you know. Like I've designed a few VTuber kids recently.
Yeah.
And my first design is never the thing that they want at the very beginning.
Of course.
So like I'll give them my first draft and they'll be like, I want these changes. I'll give it to them. I get like a different fulfillment when I like see them enjoy it, and then I see it come to life in like a model or in more art, or
Yeah.
So
I imagine people who aren't that creative don't know that feeling and can't relate to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Where they don't feel the fulfillment, but I think that it's possible that they can fulfill that fulfillment elsewhere.
Yeah.
Especially, when VTubing.
Yeah.
So
well, I feel that fulfillment when I successfully make pizza rolls. I feel that fulfillment. So.
Oh yeah.
That's my artwork for the day. So when you're on and say you're doing a game, do you like the game or dislike the game more based on the artwork? Or do you criticize the artwork as you're playing it?
So okay. For some games, I'll play for the visual. Some games I will wholly play for the visual, especially if it's like a visual novel. But most of besides being an artist, I've also been playing games since I was little.
Right.
So a lot of the games that I play now are usually games that like that I've always enjoyed growing up. So a visual is a big part of it, especially like in this day and age. But I come from I would like to think I have a very broad understanding of, some visuals fit a game better than other visuals.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't make it the whole reason why I enjoy a game.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like games with low visual that are so big right now. Repo and like Lethal Company.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy Repo so much more than I do Lethal Company.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because Repo was actively being updated and tested. Like there was like the whole beta thing that was going on for updates
Right.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's just a
And
little extra to it, isn't there?
yeah,
Yeah.
and then with Lethal Company, if I remember, the only thing that's really kind of keeping the game going, in my opinion, is kind of the mods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I believe there hasn't been an update for that game in a while. I
Yeah.
really like it when games like that, where it's just kind of infinite, have these updates to make the experience a little bit more fresh and feeling.
It sounds like Genshin Impact.
Oh, I refuse to touch Genshin anymore. Not
Anymore.
because I played it on release week and I played it so much in 2022 and 2023.
Yeah.
And then I was just so used to like continuous months of no updates, no content, and I'm just running events. It got boring.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing with like gacha games.
Yeah.
Is like I leave a gacha game for a bit and then I'll come back.
Yeah.
Because there's really not a lot to do. Like I haven't touched my gacha games in a few days.
Yeah, but,
like,
some of those games are being updated now. I mean,
yeah,
and one game that I was into for a long time was Stardew Valley, and of course that was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that's a game that was, the art style has evolved as it's gone on, but it's very specific for that game, and it works perfectly. That kind of 8-bit type of thing is, it wouldn't work otherwise. I don't think the same way. And I agree. And Concerned Ape keeps updating that son of a gun.
And that game is still going. It's been like 8 years.
I know. Oh, I haven't touched it in over a year because I can't.
Oh.
If I do, I'll never do anything else again.
Yeah.
Like you and your Genshin.
Oh, I haven't touched Genshin in 2 years.
Yeah, there you go.
The Sumeru update came out, and I was like, I don't want to play it. I don't want to play Genshin. I'll open it if a character I really like comes out.
Yeah.
Like, I went back to touch Fontaine for like maybe 2 hours, and then I stopped playing. Like right now, the only gacha games I'm playing, at least to just do daily, is Infinity Nikki and.
And which one?
I was gonna say, I haven't logged on to Wuthering Waves in a few days, and same thing with Zenless Zones. I'm waiting actually for 2 new gacha games to come out.
Yeah, you just said I don't know. Stay away from gacha games. I'm waiting for them to come out.
Yeah, like Wuthering Waves is fun. With the most recent update, I now just have so much fun. Like with the Rena Sita update, it was so fun, but I haven't finished it. I just didn't want to play it because I was getting distracted by another game. But now my Twitter timeline is filled with like this game called Silver Palace that has like an Assassin's Creed stealth kill mechanic to it.
Oh.
On top of like Wuwa's like Dark Souls like gameplay with parries and stuff.
Ah, okay.
And it's an anime gacha game. And then Never to Everness is another one that I'm waiting for. That's
we're gonna hear a lot about
similar.
That. Yeah, we're gonna hear a lot about those, aren't we? Here, coming up soon.
Yeah,
people are gonna be all over those.
I'm not too much, but I'm just really excited because that one I can drive a car. People are saying it's GTA in a gacha game, and I was like watching the play, and I was like, I see it. I see it. Yeah.
Can I run over people? Yeah. Then I'm good.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for this to see how it goes. Hopefully, I'm praying I get into a beta test. But so they're fresh though, because they add on to the mechanics. Like Genshin is like super straightforward,
right?
Compared to like Wuthering Waves now. Yeah. Oh gosh, the Genshin players would attack me if I ever said this. Yeah. They're at war. But like with WoWa, there's the parry system. There's like I can run up walls.
Yes. Just to remind everybody, we do have the links in the description over there.
It just continues to add, so I kind of just start playing newer gacha games because they add more to it. It's like I like the fresh feeling of games that like just have more and more added to it. Of course, I go back to my classics.
Yeah.
But I just
well, it doesn't sound like anything is off the table for you as far as games go, really.
No, definitely not.
If it catches your fancy, you're gonna play it.
Yeah. Normally I'll have some friends that'll be like, "Oh, how come you haven't like played this game?" And I look at it and I'm like, "It's not really a genre that I like." Like, there are games that I haven't finished that felt redundant for me, or I just ended up getting distracted by something that was more fun for me at the time.
Right. Like breathing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I always have an eye for like, what is it called? RPG games. Like the past few days I've been playing Fantasy Life.
Oh.
I've been playing the new Fantasy Life game. If I look at my hours, I've had this game since Thursday. I have 18 hours on this game already.
There's hardly been 18 hours since Thursday as we record this.
I know. Like, it's only been a few days. I remember when I got Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
I only had the game for maybe a few days. And when my friend went to check up on me how much time I had, he goes, "How do you have 40 hours on a game you've had for like 3 to 4 days?" And I sat there and I was just like, "You don't understand. I'm having a blast."
Yeah. And besides that, my cauliflowers are almost ready to come up. So there. Yeah. I gotta go back in right now.
If you need me, I'll be in the desert. I'll be in the Skull Caverns. I have some monsters to fight.
That's right.
Excuse me.
I need to get that one last artifact that only shows up one every 300 times you dig something up. It's gonna take forever.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. I would always have the wiki open whenever I played it.
Yeah.
Like, even when I did it as a collab, like a while back, I had a wiki open on the side for my romance options.
Well, when I first played it, you couldn't even romance all the people you can now.
Yeah, that's me right now with Fields of Mystria. That's me right now, Fields of Mystria. It only goes to the 6 heart event, and I'm just waiting for their next big patch and praying it takes me up to the 10 heart so I can romance my characters.
At one point, you could romance all of the characters in Stardew Valley up to 10.
Yes, I think you can still do that.
Yeah, and you get in trouble when you do it.
You get in trouble, or if you have the rabbit's foot,
they
pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, I believe all your things reset, and then but they definitely at least don't hate you.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes it very interesting. There's so many things you can do there, and so many different ways. That's the reason why I have 30 save files. Okay.
Yeah.
I play it differently each time, and I don't even have any mods. I just play it differently each time.
Yeah, I know. I have like I obviously probably don't have as many hours as some of my friends who are hardcore Stardew fans.
Yeah.
Because there was a portion in time where I did stop playing because I got distracted with another game.
Yeah.
That happens with me really often. Like, I haven't finished a lot of games. I'm looking at my Steam list right now, and there's so many games I've opened and then just didn't touch again because I was like, oh yeah, I was playing this game at the same time.
Yeah.
Like Sonic Frontiers, 2 hours, and then I'm looking at Fantasy Life with 17. So
in 2 days.
I just get so distracted. Like, before this interview, I was literally playing Fantasy Life.
I can imagine. Yep. But isn't that wonderful that you have something that is with that, and also going online that takes you away from your corporate, your corporate boxes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I just know I feel like if I didn't have something to do after work, after my silly 8 to 5 workday
Mm-hmm.
and my 30-minute drive home,
Yeah.
I feel like I would go crazy.
Yeah.
I would genuinely just go crazy.
Yeah. Now you get to go crazy on the internet.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
I'm crazy on the internet and it's funny for people. So
yeah. So when you started with coming from the the live camera to doing the VTube, did your
yeah.
audience change?
I think my audience changed more with the games that I played.
Mm.
But it definitely did change a little bit because I was at the time when I started, I specifically streamed 2 games, and one of them is still considered one of my top streamed categories, and I haven't touched it for over a year and a half.
Yeah.
That's just how much I played it when I
Yeah.
first started streaming, and it was Valorant. I was
Oh,
streaming Valorant with a webcam,
yeah.
and I was streaming Genshin Impact with a webcam when I started in 2021, 2022,
Yeah.
and um when I started switching to VTubing, I was playing um what was I even playing back then? Oh my gosh, I think I was still playing Valorant. But at the time, like the people who knew me outside of VTubing or started following me when I was still using a webcam, still came by. But when I started changing games to things I wanted to play,
Yeah.
like I started switching to some more MMOs and RPGs and solo player games.
Right.
Like I was playing Lost Ark at a point. I had people who were more interested in Lost Ark come watch me.
Right.
Or when I was drawing, people who were more interested in like listening to this pink-haired anime girl yap and hardly get any work done despite it being an art stream. Like they would enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it definitely took a shift with the stuff
Mm-hmm.
that I streamed.
Yeah.
But as the years passed and I started being more like, as I started getting more into VTubing, a lot of my community now, despite me streaming so many different things, a lot of them still come out to like see me and say hello.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the like yesterday I did a I did an art stream into Fantasy Life, and everyone was still there after I changed. And like so,
it's got to be something else for you. Realizing that they're not just coming there for what you're doing, but because you're there.
Yeah.
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 So
It's
I think
when did that finally hit you when that happened?
when people started like being there for
Yeah.
me over like what I was streaming,
Right.
I think it started to hit within my first like after a year of VTubing. I had very very slow growth at the time.
Right.
Which is fine. For me, VTubing still is like a hobby. Streaming to me is still a hobby. So the growth is not something that I will like hone in on and like make that like my self-worth. I just at the time I was still very very small and still very very new. But in that first year, I think that's where it started to solidify that people were like, I like this Chroma person. I'm going to stick around.
Yeah.
And then I like made the community Discord that I have.
Yeah.
So now people are, they always know when I go live. So now they really come in.
Yeah. It's good to hear. I mean, and it's really good to hear you talk about this because you very much, your voice gives it away how much you enjoy it. Not just being on and streaming, but the artwork as well, and it really it really portrays itself that way. You've got a very good voice for it.
Oh, thank you.
and at the same time, it's not overwhelming. Yeah, I mean, some folks can be really loud and overwhelming and fake sounding and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and that'll drive you up a tree. But there is absolutely nothing fake about what you show the folks, because while it is an avatar, it is that there's how much of it is you.
Oh yeah, I'm not actually a pink-haired bunny girl IRL, but everything that I've like played or streamed or done up to this point, I try to always think. There are times where I'm just like, what would my community and viewers like to watch me stream.
Yeah.
I'll do polls on occasion, but at the same time, all the things that I'm recommending are things that I know that I will enjoy nevertheless. So at the same time, while I could be appealing to my, community to see what they would like, because their feedback is important to me.
Right.
I also keep in mind, this is something I like to do. Like, this whole entire list are things that I want to play for you guys. So you get to choose from this. So I can have fun and we can have fun. So it's not just one set, like they're getting, what they want and I'm not enjoying it, or I'm doing what I want and they might not be enjoying it. Right. I think I really try to keep it in a place where I know that it would be fun for everyone watching me, like my community as a whole. I do that with all my events too, to see like, oh, what would my community enjoy like seeing as well. So I do my best to like make sure I'm happy, and then at the same time it's not something that would be too boring for my community, or something that they're at least a little bit interesting. So the enjoyment goes a long way.
Well, I tell you, I've enjoyed talking with you here, and and we got to get you back on. And when you got some of those events happening, let me know so we can do some updates for everybody.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, we've got all the links we've been able to find, and there are a few of them up on the description for this video. You have heard a bit of what Kroma's got going on. Obviously, a person who enjoys what they're doing, and you will enjoy too being a part of what Kroma's got going on. Thank you so much for coming on. It's an absolute pleasure talking with you. And
of course, I had so much fun.
Yeah, we'll get you on again soon.
Sounds good.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.